In anticipation of the Spartan Deka World Championship, I wanted to bring my viewers something a little bit different than just your normal race coverage. So what I did is I reached out to two of the top athletes in the world right now, Terra Jackson and Rich Ryan, both of which very graciously agreed to do interviews and take time out of their crazy pre- and post-race schedules to tell us a little bit about their life, their training, and where it all began. For just a little bit of background information, Terra Jackson and I did her interview on Friday night, so this was before she raced. So we didn't know yet that she was going to be the first ever Spartan Deka Women's World Champion. Rich Ryan, on the other hand, he did his interview with us after he raced on Saturday. So at the time of filming it, he had already been crowned the first ever men's world champion. And if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So that's enough jibber jabber for me. I'm sure you're far more interested in what they have to say. So let's jump right into it and learn a little bit more about their life, training, and where it all began. Here we have Terra Jackson. She is currently number 2 in the global leaderboard.
Yes.
Number 2 in the Spartan Deka global leaderboard. And she took time out of her day to come and do a quick little interview with us. So Terra, how you doing?
I'm good.
Feeling
ready to
ready
race.
for tomorrow?
Yeah. A little nervous, but good.
Yeah.
Good nerves.
Good. All right, so here we have Rich Ryan, who, when I set this interview up, I had no idea that he was actually going to end up being the world champion, the Spartan Deka.
No idea?
A bit of an idea.
Appreciate it.
He was actually, well, you were in 4th, right, coming into this?
My
the
seed
world
was actually
leaderboard?
7.
7.
Yeah, so I was down quite a bit.
Came up.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
You had an excellent, amazing performance.
Thank you.
Incredible freaking
Thank you.
performance.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I bet you're feeling incredible after that.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it happened only a couple hours ago, so it's still kind of sinking in.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a whirlwind sense to like what this means and everything, but it's something I prepared for really hard for a long time and was very specific to it, so plan paid off.
Yeah, definitely did. Are you racing tomorrow too?
Just Deka Strong.
Okay,
Yep.
so you're racing again tomorrow, so well, good luck tomorrow with
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
This interview is going to be a little bit different. Not so much questions about the race, more about you. So first question, what was your life like growing up? Were you always this top athlete or?
So I started competitive running when I was about 12. I was actually overweight as a child.
Me too.
So I lost when I went to 6th grade. I was really into basketball when I was little, and I went to get a physical for middle school when I was almost 180 pounds.
Wow.
So I don't know if that was just like a wake-up call, and I was just like, oh, I don't, like, I just decided I was going to lose weight. So
Okay.
I ended up getting down to like under 110 pounds by the time track season came, and I was really like into like wanting to do track. So I had a really great coach all the way from like 7th grade to high school,
Okay,
and
cool.
I competed in AAU, USA track, and high school, and then went later on to run for UNCW.
Okay, so you've always been a runner.
Yeah.
Always been a runner.
Yeah.
Nice. How did you go about losing the weight, if you don't mind me asking?
At
that young of an age, I remember how it was for me. I didn't have a clue what I was doing in the gym, so.
So probably like most kids maybe that lose weight, I did develop like an eating disorder.
Okay.
So through probably like middle school to like past college, like I struggled on and off with disordered eating, and it affected my performance a lot. So I was like back and forth with being injured or being overtrained and like having good performances and then like completely tanking and being out like for months at a time. So the last like couple years, I've finally like, I think hybrid fitness has been like really great for me, because you look at the starting line and there's no like aesthetic look to hybrid fitness, which I really like, because always through like running, I felt like imposter syndrome, because I was always like bigger. Even when I was in my eating disorder, like I was still like 125 and 130 pounds, but like the girls that I'm racing against were really tiny. So like in my mind, I'm just so big. I'm like too big for this sport. So I never felt like I 100% belonged in that sport, which is funny now that I'm bigger than I was then. Like I'm finding that like love for running again, and I'm like hitting PRs and like my road racing events and stuff that I never thought that I would be able to do. But I was limited more by the fact that I wasn't like taking care of my body versus like my body wasn't capable of doing these things.
Exactly. We're capable of far more than we think we are.
Yeah, but I mean, when you don't fuel yourself and you know,
we all know nutrition is key, right?
Yeah, so I think I was like fixating on like the wrong problem. So I always thought it was my body that was the issue. And so anytime I performed badly, I was like, oh, it's because I'm bigger and I'm not fit for this sport. This is not the sport for me, but really it was all these other things. So I think hybrid fitness led me into the room of like, you are an athlete, like you do belong in this space. And then after that, I was able to like accept physically how I am as an athlete. That's just how I am. And like stop worrying about what other people are doing, because they can't do what I do because this is who I am, and I can't do what they do because that's who they are. So they're going to be better at certain things, and that's okay. And I'm going to be better at certain things, and I build on my strengths, and like I focus on myself, my own training, and because I can't dictate what other people do. Like, so yeah.
Awesome.
To start, what did your athletic background look like growing up?
So my athletic background was diverse as a younger kid: football, basketball, baseball, the whole thing. Any team sport, anything that was on TV, I wanted to play that.
Completely.
And then as I got into high school, I played football my freshman year, and in the spring I went out for track and field, and it turned out I was like pretty good at that. And then the team convinced me to ditch football, so I did cross country, track and field through high school, played basketball in the winter, and then I went on to run in college. Nice. So I was able to...
Big switch, football to track and field.
Yeah, it's like they told me, it's like, hey, you're going to be awesome at this. I was like, cool.
Yeah, we do what we're good at, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Nice, man.
Second question. I know we're here for the Spartan Deka World Championship, but I'm guessing you've competed in other events before, so tell us a little bit about the other events you've competed in.
So after college, I got into Spartan racing. So I did Spartan racing for about 8 or 9 years.
Oh, wow.
So I've been to Tahoe. I've done the World Championships a couple times there, and then I did Abu Dhabi last year, which was really fun. Cool. It's probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever had because it's so different. Like I've never ran like 14 miles up and down dunes, and it's just such a different experience than anything I'd ever done before. It's probably one of the hardest races.
Really?
I didn't take any water. So I was like, oh, it's only like a half marathon. Like they're gonna have water stations. I'm like looking at the map. I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. And
how hot was it?
It wasn't that hot, and that's what was deceiving too, because it was about 80, but it was super dry. So I was like, it's not even that hot. Like I wasn't sweating, and I was like, it'll be fine. Like,
of course, right?
And then about 10 miles in, up like the 27th dune, I'm like cramping so bad, and I'm like just dying.
Still a wonderful experience. So.
Yeah, but it was great. I think that was maybe my last Spartan race that I've done, because I competed in Spartan Games
cool.
this past year.
How was that experience?
It was good. It was cool because I was like, kind of like we talked a little bit about imposter syndrome. Like I was there with like all these amazing athletes that I looked up to, and I was like, I don't feel like I belong here.
And the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah. So I've been up to Big Bear a couple times, and it's just really pretty up there. I got super bad altitude sickness.
Oh, really?
So like the whole time I was there, I only imagine that it's altitude sickness.
So how high up were you?
It was like 8,000 feet, and then the top of the mountain, like we ran up there, was like 10,000. So I don't know, like
it's pretty high, though.
I'd never had altitude sickness before. I've done like a lot of 14ers and like been like, so I don't know what it was. Maybe it was nerves or something, but
yeah, I wonder what that could have been. I've never had altitude sickness, so I don't know. And I see you wearing a High Rock shirt.
Oh yeah, this is from World Championships. Yeah, I did World Championships Elite 15 in May. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, or?
I like Deka.
Yeah, me too.
Just because, like, I think that there's stations in High Rocks that don't suit me well.
Okay.
So, and even though I've relentlessly worked on them, I don't feel like I've seen a lot of, like, progress in the stations versus, like, Deka. I feel like it's just more suited to me. I'm, like, more fast and explosive.
It's a shorter race, yeah.
The High Rocks sleds are not light.
I know.
And they're all fast. So, like, nothing like in Deka is very grindy.
Yeah.
like High Rocks is like a whole nother like mental kind of thing. Like
100%.
the sled's not moving. Like
It's
you
on
do like
some
100
felt.
meters of lunges and you're just like cramping, you know. So it's a lot more like, it's mentally exhausting. Like I think training for it is just not as fun. Like it's not as
many burpee
fun.
broad jumps.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the stations I'm really bad at.
That one got me too, and I'm nowhere at your level, so.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
All right, so you were obviously an athlete as a kid. What other events, now that you got into this type of sport, have you done other than Spartan Deka?
So yeah, coming out of college, just like anybody who was competitive, I was looking for something, you know,
Yeah.
and I was still running. I was a little burnt out on that and didn't want to go just specifically back into like the road running scene, like marathons. And I found the weight room. I found CrossFit shortly thereafter, like 2011. So I've been in or around CrossFit for a while.
Oh, nice.
So I've done the Open every year. Like
Yeah.
I've never been highly competitive just because I've never fully committed to that because I still wanted the endurance piece in my life a little bit.
Most definitely.
You know?
I completely understand.
So
that.
it's like, did I want to gain 40 pounds
Yep.
of muscle and then still be not that good? I still like want the endurance piece. And then I found Spartan pretty shortly after that, and that was a good like leeway into this when this all kind of came around.
That's awesome. Yeah, well-rounded athlete as opposed to just a strength or just a runner.
It was when I started Spartan, I thought it was going to be a lot more like this, where like the strength and the endurance and the speed all mattered.
Yeah.
And it's not quite like that. You know, it's more like trail running with some grip strength.
Yep.
And so when this came across, I was like, all right, cool. I've been training for this kind of for a long time.
Well, it
so-
obviously paid off.
yeah,
Definitely paid off.
Totally.
Tell me, where do you find the motivation to continuously train at the level where you can be number 2 in the world in Spartan Deka?
So it's funny, I had this conversation with my coach the other day because I was like freaking out about like if I peak too early, like if my fitness is where I really think it is. Like I'm a very like mental kind of racer, and so he's like asking me, well, why do you race? And I was like, well, why are you racing? And I was like, because I want to win. And he's like, it's not good enough. Like it's not. I was like, but that's why I'm racing. I'm racing to win. He was like, no, that's not good enough reason. Because what if you don't win? And I was like, well, he was like, what are you going to do if you don't win? And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to keep racing.
Yeah, right?
So, like, I don't really race to win because despite if I win or not, I'm still going to be racing.
Exactly.
So I race because, I made a post about this the other day, I race because a lot of the times I've had workouts in this cycle that have been hard, and like when my coach tells me, oh, you're going to do this, in my head, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, these paces are too fast. Like, I'm already like talking myself out of like being able to do it.
Yeah.
And
Before
then I
you
do
even
it.
start, yeah.
And then I do it, and I'm just like, wow, that was, I can do this. Like, I can do a lot more than I think that my body can do.
All right, so you obviously just won the world championship, and that must take some incredible motivation and some intense training. So where do you find the motivation to continuously train like this?
That's a great question because like motivation's fleeting,
Yep.
right? Like
Exactly.
if I would sit around, or what I found other people, they sit around just like wait for like something to like pull them towards something. It can be there, but for short periods, then it's gone,
Yep.
right? So I really love the process. I love the idea of like figuring out how to train for something and then seeing that hard work pay off. So every day is like a step toward something else, and I like the training and the process of the training. So it's not necessarily even like a motivation to come out and compete, but just the motivation to train and like love the process is always there.
The
Yeah.
journey, not the destination kind
Totally.
of thing, right?
Exactly.
Nice, man, nice.
All right, so Terra, last question before we wrap things up. If you had any advice for anybody looking to get into one of these races or events or trying an endurance sport, what advice would you have for them?
Just sign up.
Sign up.
So I think that when you sign up and you commit to something, you're more likely to like follow through with it. So if you want to do something, give yourself that push. Like sign up for an event that's 6 months out that gives you plenty of time to train. Like if you think that you can't do it, you can. Find someone to train with to help you, like hold you accountable, and yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I constantly tell all my viewers, is that these races are made for anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody could get out there and at least try one of these events.
Yeah.
So I love that about Spartan Deka. I like it about High Rocks, even though it's a little bit tougher.
It's different. It's
It is. It'll be exciting to see the growth of Deka because it just started out. This, I believe, is the first World Championship,
Yes.
which is pretty freaking awesome that we're here, both of us competing in it. You, obviously, in the elite event, competing against some of the best athletes out there. Me, competing in the open event. Not quite where she is yet, but maybe one day.
All right, so thank you again for taking the time. This is the last question I have for you. For our viewers that are thinking about maybe trying one of these events or another endurance event, what advice would you have for someone looking to get into one of these?
So just coming in and just giving it a shot, you know,
Yeah.
like not being overly worried about how your performance is. There's, especially in this avenue in general, like because there's a time associated with it, it's easy to compare yourself to how whatever everybody else is doing, but it should be a journey to better yourself and push yourself as hard as you can. Really, it's not you versus anybody else. It's you versus the course. It's you versus what you can do and push yourself. So coming out and just seeing if it's something that you enjoy, and then just try it. Yeah, just get out there and do it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
All right, so that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's probably crazy right now, the night before the World Championship race. We made you a Beyond the Norm shirt just for a big thank you for taking the time. So there you go.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you tomorrow. We will all be cheering you on. I'll be down there watching you for sure. So
Thanks.
wishing you the best. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, those were incredible answers. Thank you again, and congratulations
Thanks,
on
man.
the World Championship win. For taking the time. We had a Beyond the Norm shirt made for you.
Cool, man.
For taking the
Appreciate that.
time, I appreciate it,
That's
man.
awesome, dude.
So that's yours. Thank you
Thank you
very
so much.
Congrats again.
Thanks, dude.
It's been an awesome experience getting to meet you, getting to talk to you. Hopefully it fits.
Yeah, it'll be good. Cool,
All right, man. I'll
Appreciate
see
it.
you at the next one, all right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, keep it up.
And until next time, remember, stay safe, train hard, and believe in yourself. You're stronger than you think.